Hi, in this video on my robotic hand and arm, I focus on the hand. Recently it showed that despite all testing, not all fingers responded to touch to the switches. So right now I'm going to test if things do work, and if they don't, why. So first, compression, and after compressing a bit I'm going to test each finger. This one works, this one works, first failure, and that is a problem with the elbow. And so there are two fingers that have to be checked, and that is most likely a piece of the wiring, so that is the first thing to do. So when testing with the diagnostics interface, I open an interface, I have a robot interface over USB only, that should work. And I press 1, 2, 3, 4 doesn't respond, 5 does respond, 4 does not respond at all, testing 5 again, and 5 responds. So the wiring of input 4 is faulty, and that is in contradiction to my earlier tests that all wiring was fine. So I have to check input 4. And by checking the wires from finger 4 that is faulty, I have to check for this wire here, which connects to the next wire using two connectors a little bit taped to each other. Unfortunately, I don't have any more of these connectors, which would be much easier to use. And then again I have to check all the wires that run through the arm, which isn't as easy, but running through the arm is safer. So I have to gamble a little bit, and this wire I have to take. Yes, it's this wire, and let me adjust the camera a little bit. Then this part is the next one, which is connected fine. Then this is obviously the next part, and there it becomes clear that a wire is disconnected. So that one has to be fixed, and then it is still the question whether this finger will move, because although this finger moves by touching and signaling in the diagnostic interface, it did not move when running the program, so there's still a mismatch. But let me first fix the wire and then test again in the diagnostics. So back to testing, and let's see for the inputs here. So 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 all working. So let's see for the program once again. But first let's nicely close the interface, because it's either the interface or the program that's running and not both. So let's get back and then starting the program. And go back to the camera. So with the program running again, start the compressor. Works flawlessly. Compress some air. And then let's see. Because for some very weird reason, it obviously works because it starts the compressor, but there's no air moving in and out. And that was an air tube going loose, so maybe that's the cause as well. No response. Now the fourth finger response. This one response, this two, and this one too. This one response. However, despite the fact that the electric wiring now is okay, something is amiss with the pneumatics. So let me check that first now. Diagnosing the tubes goes actually the same as the wires. See which tube is responding to which. So this is this one, and finally let me lower the camera a bit. So pulling this one reveals that I have to do with this tube, which ends up with one of the outer valves, and all is connected. So the only reason that it may not work is because of the wiring to the valves. So I have to check that as well. And they all are connected. So maybe there's a loose wire there too. So let me check that more thoroughly. This last problem turned out to be a loose wire, electrical wire. at the connector side. So when I test now, everything should work, because this wire was a valve wire. Let's start the program again. This works, starting the compression anyway. Now this works as well, So now the hand finally works totally, and all pneumatics and all electrical work does its job. And with this finished, I can focus once again on the elbow, and let me turn it around, and it will be very clear that the elbow still needs some fixing here, fixation here in the internal parts. Also the physical moment isn't correct, so maybe I should shorten this as well, because the hand is quite heavy. But for now it works, at least pneumatic parts. And let me just add this, and thanks for watching. To be continued for the elbow and arm.